Happy Self-Love Sunday. I am Moe Sass, the host of Self-Love Sundays with Sass. I am a certified life coach who considers herself an aide in the village that helps walk alongside of people throughout their journeys of having the life they so desperately desire, and that's in terms of health, wealth, relationships of all kinds. And the reason why I say an aide in the village is because I believe that it takes a village to heal, love, raise, and cherish a child. And I believe that we are all children of the universe, all children of God. So that is why I say that I am just an aide in the village, honey, that wants to help people understand that they can be or do or have anything that they want, and it all begins and ends with them. So, which this really leads me into it's a new year, and it leads me into what season are you in? This is like a critical question to ask yourself. What season are you in? And we're going to get into what I mean by that, because I felt like last year for me was a season of learning new things about myself, learning new things about my career, learning new things about my relationships, learning new things about my children. It was definitely like a learning year for me. And this year I have dubbed it, and yes, I said dubbed it, dubbed it as my winning season. This is my winning season. And what that means to me is there's a song that says everything attached to me wins, and that's exactly what I feel like. Everything that I touch, everything that I go after, I'm gonna win. And when I talk about winning, first of all, I want to be clear. I never, ever lose. Either I win or I learn. Let me just say that again. I never lose. Either I win or I learn. And with that, I just like really dug deep in what is it that I'm winning? I am winning the battles against myself. I am winning the battles of fear. I am winning in my career. And what that looks like for me is I'm finishing. Because a lot of people start, very few finish. I'm going to say it again. A lot of people start something, but very few finish. And this year, I said, it's my winning season. That means I'm finishing the thing. I'm finishing the vision that God gave me. I'm finishing, the things that I have been working on with myself. And how do you finish in that? Is I show up in it. Because it's one thing to say that I've learned many lessons or I learned many things. It's something quite different when you apply what you learn. And the way to apply is to show up. Because a lot of us are in hermit mode, right? All the things that's going on with the pandemic. So it's one thing to say, okay, well, I've learned my lesson, or I've learned this thing. Well, now it's time to apply it. Okay? So I am saying that this is my winning season. Everything I touch will turn to gold. And it's not something that I just say. I affirm it every single day with myself. I actually believe it. And and I've made it my intention. And there is a difference between an intention and a goal. A goal is something that, I set down, I wrote out on paper because I haven't achieved that yet. This is something I'm going after. I'm looking to obtain it. An intention is something that you actually set, and it implies now. Right? I set different intentions for myself every morning. For example, I'll say that my intention for today is that it will be effortless ease. That means that I'm going to be easy all day. I'm not going to allow anything or anyone or to come and upset the course of my day. So I set an intention. And why am I talking about this? I want to back up a little bit because I think it's so important to have this discussion, especially around the time of a new year, because there's always New Year's resolutions with people. And then here's the thing that I see a lot. People be like, well, New Year, same me, New Year, you don't have to do a resolution. Everybody is so busy trying to be anti, they're missing the spin that you can put on something. Can you make a declaration to change at any time? Absolutely. You can make a declaration to change different each month. You can make a declaration to change each season. But the thing is, stop knocking people for wanting to put in the work. See, that's what happens when we're so anti against everything. The people who have not gotten to the level or the thought pattern that you believe you've achieved, and I say believe because if you really achieved it, you wouldn't have to knock down and be anti against anyone that's trying to better themselves. But that's another subject for another day. You would begin to understand that not everyone that listens to your platform or comes across your platform may be at the level of or mindset that you are. That we all had to start from someplace. And I guarantee you, most of these people that are so anti used to have New Year's resolutions. Come on, somebody, if we're gonna be real in these streets today. Okay? But so if this is not fitting for you, then I would say, this may be the time for you to turn me off. But I'm talking to the people who have not yet quite reached that level of understanding that you can set these intentions every day. Okay. And here's the thing about the new year, new you. I said this years ago, but I'm going to come back and I'm going to say it again today. You can absolutely. First of all, you should be following the rhythm of your own drum anyway, but just in case you're living in a little bit of fear where you don't want to speak out because of there's all this anti about the new year, new me, but let me help you to that. You can absolutely say new year, new me because I am setting the intention to be a better mother. You can say new year, new me because I am setting the intention to be a better person. You can say new year, new me because I'm setting the intention to become a better spouse. You can say new year, new me because I'm setting the intention to be a better business partner. You can say new year, new me because I am letting go of fear because I understand that fear keeps me running from the things that I want, but faith drives me to it. You can say new year, new me because I am setting the intention that this year I will no longer shrink back. You can say new year, new me because I am going to have the love that I desire. You can say new year, new me because I have set the intention that I am going to lead from a place of love and no longer going to lead from a place of lack. You can say new year, new me because I've decided to listen to a new podcast, because I've decided to pick up a new book, because I've decided to try a new thing. You can say new year, new you. Because I am going to stop waiting for someone to give me permission to be who God designed me to be. That part. I'm coming to you today to say it is time to stop listening to everyone else and how they decide they want to live their life. That is their life. You, my dear, who is listening to this today can say, I am making the decision to do this thing my way. Why am I making a decision to do it my way? Because when God gave me that vision, when he implanted that special thing about me in me, it was not a conference call. It wasn't given to my mother. It wasn't given to my father. It wasn't given to my friends. It wasn't given to the peanut gallery. It wasn't given to all the people on social media. It was given to me. So I'm making this intention this year to start believing in me and start believing in what God gave me. It's up to you. It all begins and ends with you, beautiful. I need you to hear that today. So many of us are living in fear, running from the very things that we desire, running from that business that's within our belly, running from that loving relationship that we so want, running from the relationships we want to build with people, running from ourselves, running from the emotions because we're also disconnected. We're disconnected from our emotions. We're disconnected from ourselves. We're disconnected from the love of self. We're disconnected from people. Why? Because there was a trauma that happened when we were younger that caused us to become disconnected. Please stop saying that you are broken. You are not broken. You're just disconnected. But this year you can set the intention to say, I am going to connect back to the emotions that I've been running from. I'm going to connect back to myself. What I am seeking has always been seeking me, and it's love. Come on, y'all, we're going to have to be real today. All of this, everything that you are doing, it's about love. It really is. Either I want to be loved, I need to be loved, I desire to be loved, I have to be loved, or I just want love. So I go about these ways of obtaining it. And what ways of being are you doing? What ways of being are you setting out in this world that you're not having, receiving, or giving the love that you desire. That's why it's so important for you to understand what season you are in. Maybe this is the season of you really tuning in and tapping in with your higher power. First of all, that should be every season. Let me just be clear. That should just be every season. If you don't know by now that you need someone higher than you to help you in all seasons of your life, we need to have a personal conversation. And I say it every time, but just in case you're new to me, I am not religious, I'm spiritual. And what that means is I have a personal relationship with God. That means it's personal. That means I walk and I talk and I read with him every day. It's personal. Because what I go through is personal. And I know that I cannot do it alone. As a matter of fact, I wasn't born to do it alone. That's why we were born into a family. You were not born. No one is born alone. You can't even get here alone. How about that? Okay? So I need you to understand that. You can't walk through this alone. What season are you in? Maybe this is a season to say, I'm going to get with a life coach. I'm going to get with a therapist so that I can understand why I'm so disconnected from my emotions, why I'm not living the life of my dreams, why there's still lack mentality, or why is it that I don't even understand that I'm living in lack mentality? The words you speak off your lips are the reason why your life looks the way that it does. Please do not get this twisted and believe that it's because of an outside source or an outside entity as to why your life looks the way it does. No, it's the language that you speak to yourself. It's the belief. It's the things that you believe in about you. I know that's a hard truth to face because some of us will say, I don't choose that, but maybe consciously you did. But there's some fear in there. There's some hurt in there. There's some pain. There's some resentment. There's some anger. There's some unforgiveness. That maybe it's a season for you to tap into so that you can stop being afraid. I wasn't always the person that could come and sit in front of the camera. I'm going to keep it totally funky with y'all. I used to think that I wasn't good enough. I used to think that I was ugly. I was like, oh, you look like a man. Your nose was too big, or this was too big, or I was too dark. My butt was too big. Growing up, being darker with a big boobie wasn't in, y'all. It just wasn't. It was light skin, long hair. That's what it was in, right? But this is what I was given. And I never thought it was good enough. I was so scared. I remember I always knew I had a gift. I knew God gave me beautiful words to speak into people. I knew it, but I was scared because I would always think about what people told me, or you think you better than people. And I used to hear all these crazy things about myself. Meanwhile, I hated everything that I was. I hated myself from the way that I looked, from the way that I spoke, everything. It took work. I had to go into a season of saying, you know what? I don't like the way that my life is shaping. I can't. It's something that just, I heard this today. It's funny because E.T. the hip hop preacher, I love him. And he said, you know what? Fear looks ugly on you. He said, fear makes you stink. Because you're living in fear, because you think from a fearful place, nobody don't even want to be around. You're not even fun to be around because you're so busy living in fear. The fear of what they're going to do to you. The fear that they're going to hurt you. The fear that they're going to take something away from you. You stink. And you wonder why nobody really wants to be bothered with you. You stink. That fear reeks. It's like he said, real talk, he said it's like having garbage in your house for 40 years because that's how long you've been holding on to the resentment and the anger from something maybe your parents did or someone did to you. That relationship from 15 years ago. You stink. And you putting that stench even on the good things that come in your life. Come on, y'all, listen to me. When he said this, it was like, whoa. You could have some really good things going on in your life. This is the way he described it, and I want to give him credit because I never take credit from someone else's work. He said, it's like your guest room is filled with this garbage, but your room is clean. But the stench from the guest room is seeping into your clean room. And I took that to mean the stench from those relationships, the stench from the harm that someone did to you how many ever years ago, the stench of you being in fear that you'll never have enough, the stench from you, keep complaining about that job over and over again as if there isn't a million jobs out there because of the stench of your fear of security. You stink. And now this good thing comes into your life, this good business idea, this good community of people this good person that's loving you for you. Listen, coming into your life, and because of that stench, you're stinking all over the new thing. And then when the new thing leaves, you blame it. You blame the new thing, never realizing it was because you stunk. Yo, I didn't realize my stinking thinking was the thing that was harming my relationships. My fear that whatever the old people, the old group in my life did was going to happen to me again. I carried it into the new relationships, y'all. I carried the stinking thinking. I was funky. It didn't even realize it. I was so funky that I wasn't fun. I was so funky that I wasn't bringing the good. Yo, let me tell you something. There is so many different facets to me. I'm the girl that can go from the street corner to the boardroom. Real talk. And I got a crazy sense of humor. I listen to all genres of music. I'm just that woman. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not afraid to say that anymore because I think that somebody is gonna say, oh, she thinks she's better. Let me help you today. No one on this earth is better than it. I'm gonna say it every time. No one on this earth. You're not better than a homeless person. You're not better than, I don't care if you're a CEO, I don't care how much money you have. You're not better than no one. But I will tell you one thing. I'm different though. I will tell you one thing. You're never better, but you're different. There's something about you. There's a quality that you have. There's a way of thinking that you have that's absolutely beautiful, but it's muddled by your stink. It's muddled by your stench. What season are you in? Are you ready to go into a season of winning truly the battles against yourself? This is not about somebody else. Nobody on this earth could ever be my competition. And you see, somebody who's not in tune with their healed self would think, oh, she's cocky. No, I was my biggest enemy. Nobody was my biggest enemy but me, the way I thought. All I ever wanted was love. I'm telling you, I was created to love on a different level. But because of all the pain that I experienced, I allowed it to drown out my love. So instead of letting my faith guide me to it and through it, I let my fear lead and run me from it. But I'm woman enough to say that. I'm woman enough to call a thing a thing. I'm woman enough to step into this and say, you know what, no more running from it. I'm going to actually, instill my faith and run to it and allow God to help me go through it. But I understood that I had to get a system and a team around me, a system of people who have a better mentality, don't have that. They're not stinking, y'all. I pulled a system around me of therapists and life coaches to help me walk into the season of faith and get away from the fear. And the real talk about fear, it was just fear that I drudged up in myself. But that took me being woman enough to admit where I was stink. That took me being woman enough to say where I was wrong. It took me being woman enough to say, you don't have it all together. It took me being woman enough to not being fearful of telling anybody that comes across anything that I ever put out to this universe that there's nothing perfect about me. I get it wrong probably more times than I get it right, but I'm willing to fail forward, and that's what sets me apart. See, no matter how many times, no matter how many times things just don't quite go the way I thought it should. That's a nugget. No matter how many times I feel like I've been knocked down, I always am going to stand up, not with the same, but bigger and better than I ever was. Why? Because I'm willing to do the work. So many people want the reward and not willing to put in the work. I put in blood, sweat, and tears so that I can stand before you today. Blood, sweat, and tears so that I can put this message out to you. Blood, sweat, and tears of seeing the shadow side of myself. Because we all have light and dark. Most people just are afraid of the dark. I'm not afraid of the dark side of me anymore. I understand that darkness helped me get to this point. It helped me to survive. But baby, now it's time to thrive. My winning season. Peace, purpose, and execution is the theme. And the season it's my winning season. So, what is your theme? And what season are you declaring that you're going to be in? Because in order to be in the season, let me tell you something that I understand. I understand that because of my yes, that we are all about to be free. And I also understand that because I said yes, and when I say we're all about to be free, understand that I don't believe that I'm free unless everyone that comes in contact with me is free from their fear. Free. There's something that I've given them to help them level up. There's something that I give them to help open a chamber in their heart. There's something that I've said to them to help them understand that they can have something better. They can be something better. They can do something better. So until everyone is free, I believe that I'm not free. But I also understand that in my saying yes to getting people free, that means I must say no to a lot of things. I have to say no to fear. I have to say no to lack. I have to say no to disbelief. I have to say no that I'm not going to stop. I have to say no. I have to set boundaries to people who want to impose it and plead, to people who want to just ride, some people who want to jump onto the ship just when I'm winning, but want to jump off when they assume that I'm losing, never understanding that when you rock with somebody like me, I never lose. So now, what do you have to say no to in order to say yes? I had to say no to the fact that, to understand that, yo, listen, I can't be there for everything and everybody anymore. I have to say yes to me, loving me. What does that look like? Because I'm saying yes to what God is calling me to, I promise you, my family is about to be free. Financial freedom. It wasn't good enough for me to break curses. Generational blessings is what I'm after. So because I'm after it, I have to say no to some things. I have to say no to being in the rooms where I'm the smartest person in the room. I got to step into those big rooms now. That's so important to understand. And I'm not saying that when I step into the rooms, my gut don't feel a little like I'll feel some flutters in there. I do. But that's how I know I'm in the right room, because I have the flutter. But when I step into the room, I understand, that if God put me in there, then I'm in the right room. I deserve to be in that room. So I'm going to stand like that. And I understand that I'm here to learn, and I'm going to grow. And soon enough, I'm going to step into another room, and another room, and another room. But I understand that everyone can't go. But I also get that because I'm going to say yes to that room, I can come back. I can come back and give everyone that I had to step out from and step up everything that it took for me to get there. So now you understand that you can do it too. See, that's the part that people miss. Sometimes it is a lonely ride, but I'm more valuable than I've ever been because I said yes. So will this be the season that you become more valuable to the people that you're shrinking back and staying stuck to? That's a question. What is your theme for the year? Mine is peace, purpose, and execution. If it's not bringing me peace, not leading me to my, and it's not for my purpose, therefore leading me to executing in my winning season, then it has to go. Because I understand something. I understand that God's word will never return to me void. I understand that God's reputation is on the line. So when I shrink back, and let me tell you something before I end this video. God gives and he'll take it away. He gave you a gift to use for the betterment, for his glory. He didn't give you the gift to tear down. He didn't give you the gift to manipulate. He didn't give you the gift to try to move and maneuver people to get what you want. It was for his glory. So understand that you may have a gift today and that you're manipulating and you're using and you're abusing. But I promise you one thing. If you don't ever want God to take it away. So if you know, let God know, if you're hearing this, and that's what you're doing, today is the day to stop. Repent. Ask for forgiveness. And move different. Because I'm telling you, when he takes away that intuition, and he takes away the things that's been saving your life, all because you've been using it to cause harm in other people's lives, I promise you that ain't a road you want to be on. I promise you that.
Promise you that. I don't make a lot of promises, but I promise you that somebody needs to hear this because they're using their gifts for all the wrong reasons. All the wrong reasons. But you can turn it around. It's a choice. And stop acting like it's outside people. It's you. You say who, you say when, you say how. You're not a victim. We don't even live in victim mentality. So ask yourself, what season are you in? What's your theme? Understand that God ain't gonna let you ruin his reputation. Believe that. Believe that. I love you. I hope you have the most amazing, amazing Sunday, and I will talk to you next week.